So today's video is going to be about Kodak Black and James Brown, because as you guys can see by the title and this comparison, James Brown is Kodak Black. So Kodak Black's character is based off of James Brown, so that means James Brown is the base character. Before I get into the video, I just want to give a big shout out to Divine Sade, because she made a video about this 6 months ago, and this was a really good video. So if you guys haven't seen it, the link will be in the description below. So go watch her video after you watch this one, and make sure you guys subscribe to her channel. If you guys like my content, then you'll like her content as well. So now let's get into the video. So as you guys can see, it's pretty obvious that James Brown is Kodak. So if you guys notice the pattern that's going on here with me and Divine Sade's videos, we've been showing you guys that all these new celebrities that you see today are just recycled versions of older celebrities. So in this case, Kodak Black is just a recycled version of James Brown. So as you guys can see, you know, they completely recycled his character and they created Kodak Black. So this one makes perfect sense to me because James Brown was a big character back in the day. You know, everybody loves his music. And same thing with Kodak Black, you know, he's a big character today and everybody loves his music. So they both have the same type of impact. And Kodak Black sings a lot. If you guys notice, he doesn't really rap, you know, he mostly sings in his music. And now it makes sense why he does that, because his base character is James Brown and he was a big singer back in the day. So as you guys can see right here, they have the same face structure. One thing that I've noticed about both of these characters is they love to change their look, right? So if you look at a lot of pictures of James Brown, in some pictures you'll notice that he looks a little bit different. And same thing with Kodak, you know what I mean? When he first came out, he was skinny and then he got fat. And then when he got released from prison, he was skinny again. And people were saying that he was a clone or he was replaced. But knowing what I know now, all that happens with Kodak is they're modifying his character. You know, there's no such thing as replacing a character or anything like that. All they do is modify the character. So that's why if you notice with a lot of celebrities, you know, as their career goes on, they modify their face and stuff like that. A big example of this is Michael Jackson, right? You know, they modified his character, and that's still the same character. It's just that they modified his face and his skin color and stuff like that, because these characters are no different than Sims characters. Just like how you can modify a Sims character, you know, change up their features a little bit, they do the same thing with these characters on the world stage. And a big reason why they do this is so that you get the illusion that the character is like updating, because people love to see something new. So when Kodak Black goes from skinny to fat to skinny to fat to skinny, you know, that's going to make people shocked, and they're going to be like, wow, you know, this person is changing a lot. And some people might even jump and say that he's a clone or he was replaced. But all of that is just to give him more attention. You know, at the end of the day, no matter how much they modify Kodak, he will always look like James Brown. As you guys can see right here, when they both have shades on, they look exactly alike. Now let's look at the side profile, because they look just alike. You know, right here they have the same exact side profile. And their nose is very similar, and their mouth as well. And one big similarity with these two characters is their smile. You know, Kodak is known for doing this smile right here, and James Brown always had a big smile. If you look at a lot of his pictures, he was always having a big cheesy smile, and Kodak Black does the same thing. You know, right here they look exactly alike. I mean, if you really pay attention, they have the same nose, the same eyes, the same mouth, the same smile lines, you know, the same face structure. And this is one of those that I really can't unsee. You know, every time I look at this picture of James Brown, I always get reminded of Kodak, because he looks so much like him right here. And once again, when they both got shades on, they look identical. And the funny thing about these characters is they have the same exact energy. So I'm going to play you guys some interviews of James Brown at the end, along with some videos of Kodak, so that you guys can see that they both have the same weird, awkward, and crazy energy. They have the weirdest moments in interviews, and they're both crazy, you know what I mean? They both randomly say things, and you guys are going to see with these interviews that I'm going to play at the end that they have the same mannerisms and the same attitude. They both get mad easily, and they're both awkward on purpose, and they always try to be funny in their interviews. And overall, they're kind of the same character, because they both do the same things, man. It's so funny. So here's another comparison, and as you guys can see, they look so much alike from this angle. Another similarity with these characters is they both have crazy hairstyles, right? So here's another young picture of James Brown and Kodak, and they have the same face structure, man. Like, I really can't unsee this. And when I look at this picture of James Brown, I can just see that he's also a female. Like I always say in my videos, all celebrities are inverts, which means that they're both genders. So that's why sometimes you'll look at a picture of a celebrity like James Brown or Kodak, for example, and obviously at first you're going to see that it's a boy, but the more you look at it, you're going to start seeing the female characteristics in that celebrity. So that's why all the men in the industry act like females and all the females in the industry act like men. But anyways, as you guys can see, they have the same exact smile, man. You know, it's completely undeniable. So here's some more side-by-side comparisons. And once again, they look so much alike when they got these shades on. And they both have the same cheesy smile. Alright, so in this side-by-side comparison, you can really notice that they have the same exact eyes. So if you look closely at their eyes, you can see that both of their eyes on the left side are moving to the left, while the eye on the right is kind of like a lazy eye, and it's not moving to the left as much as the other one. So I just find it crazy that everything about these characters is the same. You know, the only difference is that Kodak Black is a modern character, so obviously he's gonna dress like how people dress today, and that's why he has these wigs on. And James Brown was following trends of his era, so that's why he has this hairstyle, and that's why he dresses like this. And it's funny because in this picture, he looks so much like Kodak. You know, a lot of people notice that he looks a lot like Kodak in this picture. And overall, I feel like with this comparison right here, everyone can see the resemblance. I mean, they look exactly alike. The fact that they have the same exact side profile goes to show that they're the same, because no two people in the world have the same side profile like this. So yeah, in this comparison, they look so much alike. Alright, so now let's get into all of the connections, because there's so many connections with this one. James Brown has this famous picture where he's sitting on this green and red chair. And Kodak has a music video called Calling My Spirit. And he's wearing green and he's sitting on a red chair. And this scene just really reminded me of this picture of James Brown. And Kodak even has an album where he's sitting on a similar chair and he's wearing red. And there's a lot of candles and stuff in this picture, and it's almost like he's doing some type of ritual. You know, this is a very demonic entity, and even when they dance, it's very demonic. You know, James Brown used to dance extremely fast. I don't know how he did it. You know, regular humans can't really do that. So that goes to show how demonic they are. And this is a big connection because I'm about to play this video of Kodak doing the same exact dance, and he looks so much like him. So the fact that he's dancing exactly like James Brown goes to show that he's obviously one of James Brown's characters. And the funny thing about this clip is that obviously he's doing it slow because James Brown did it super fast. But it goes to show that he knows how to do it, you know what I mean? So that's a major connection, man. The fact that Kodak has this video where he's dancing like James Brown. Now let's get into this next clip of DJ Vlad basically admitting that James Brown is Kodak Black, but he's doing damage control with it, you know. And I find it funny that he said this a couple months after Divine Sade made that video about how James Brown is Kodak Black. So here's the clip of DJ Vlad basically doing mockery about this.
I honestly feel Kodak Black is the new James Brown.
So he said Kodak Black is the new James Brown, and he's doing damage control with that because obviously he's trying to say that Kodak Black is this generation's James Brown. You know, he's not directly saying that James Brown is Kodak, but he's doing mockery with it because he knows that Kodak Black is James Brown, and he put it in plain sight. But to the average person that doesn't know that this is going on, this video is going to completely go over their head because they're not going to understand that James Brown is literally Kodak Black. And I find it funny that they both have 5 letters in their first name. You know, Kodak is 5 letters and James is 5 letters. And then Black and Brown are also 5 letters. So in total, both of their names are 10 letters. So not only do they have the same amount of letters in their name, but their last names are colors. So Kodak Black, James Brown. I find that to be the biggest connection here, because what are the chances of that? You know what I mean? Like the fact that they have the same exact amount of letters in their stage names, and the fact that he has black in his name and he has brown in his name. They put this one right in our face, you guys. Like, I really don't have to say much more about that. And here's another clip on DJ Vlad's channel where he once again is doing mockery with this.
Kodak Black is a new James Brown.
So I can't play too much of the interview because obviously DJ Vlad loves to copyright people, so I can't play their reactions to it. But just the fact that DJ Vlad has these two videos where he's saying that Kodak Black is the new James Brown, that goes to show that he clearly watched Divine Sade's video about this and he's trying to do damage control. But at the same time, he's putting the truth in plain sight, you guys. You have to read between the lines and really see what's going on here. So I feel like everything I just showed you guys right now was so much proof. The fact that Kodak Black has that video dancing like James Brown, and then James Brown and Kodak have the same amount of letters in their name, and on top of that, they both have a color in their name, black and brown. And then these last two clips that I showed you guys of DJ Vlad basically admitting that James Brown is Kodak. Obviously all of that is not a coincidence. And now let's get into some more connections that also aren't a coincidence. So both of these characters have allegedly abused women. So here's this article that says singer Tammy Terrell was allegedly abused by James Brown. It says Motown singer Tammy Terrell was 17 years old when she reportedly dated music icon James Brown, who was age 30 at the time. So not only is that very disgusting, the fact that they're 13 years apart, and also the fact that she was a teenager, she was only 17. That's a very disgusting story. Even though it's fake, every drama story that they put out in the media is obviously fake. But just the fact that this is a part of his character, that shows how disgusting this entity is. And of course, Kodak Black does the same thing. So here's an article that says rapper Kodak Black gets probation in teens assault case. Rapper Kodak Black had been sentenced to probation for assaulting a teenage girl in a South Carolina hotel room. The court heard how Kodak Black had tried to have a romantic encounter with the alleged victim, which she didn't want, and that the rapper had bitten her. So that's kind of weird that Kodak would bite her like that. And Kodak Black admitted that this was true. Right there it says Kodak Black said this was true. He also said sorry in court. I apologize. I'm hopeful we can all move forward. I wish her the best in her life. So I just find it crazy that both of these characters abused a teenager, because James Brown abused a 17-year-old girl. And they don't say the age of the girl that Kodak Black had this case with. But right here it does say that it was a teenage girl in a South Carolina hotel room. And a big connection with that is the fact that James Brown is from Barnwell, South Carolina. That's where he was born. So the fact that James Brown is born in South Carolina, and then Kodak Black assaulted this teenage girl in a South Carolina hotel room, that's a major connection right there. But anyways, let's move on to the next major connection, which is this song right here. So Gucci, Bruno Mars, and Kodak Black have a song called Wake Up in the Sky. And when this song first came out, I was very surprised that these three random artists would even have a song together. And when you're a regular person, you don't understand, why these artists collab. But once you know about the scripting in the industry and the fact that all these characters have older characters in the music industry, you'll really notice why certain artists collab. And this is a perfect example. The reason these three artists collabed on this particular song is because of their base characters. So this is going to connect all of them together. So first, let's start off with Bruno Mars. So as you guys know, I have a video exposing how Michael Jackson is Bruno Mars. If you guys haven't seen this video, the link will be in the description below. This was a big video. I spent 46 minutes breaking it down and have so many clips proving this as well. So make sure you guys watch that video. It's basically a documentary on Michael Jackson and Bruno Mars. So Michael Jackson is Bruno Mars and Aretha Franklin is Gucci. The link to this video will also be in the description below. So it's important to know that Aretha is Gucci and Michael Jackson is Bruno Mars and Kodak Black is James Brown, because all of them are friends. So here's all three of them together. And of course, James Brown and Michael Jackson are friends. So that explains why Kodak Black and Bruno Mars are on this song together. So as you guys can see, Michael Jackson and James Brown have a lot of pictures together. And then here we got Kodak and Bruno Mars. And even a younger picture of Michael Jackson too. So they've been friends for a very long time. And now let's move on to the Aretha Franklin and Gucci connection to James Brown, because James Brown was very close to Aretha Franklin as well. So that explains why Kodak and Gucci are close. And they were even grouped up a lot of times because people thought they were clones, which is a big distraction from what's really going on here. But if you guys been watching my channel for the last couple months, you guys already know that cloning is not true and that it's all damage control to this. But anyways, the main point here is that James Brown and Aretha are close, and Kodak Black and Gucci are close. You know, there's so many pictures of them together, and I believe they performed together as well. And Michael Jackson and James Brown also performed together too. So this is a huge connection, you know, the fact that James Brown is close to Michael Jackson and Aretha Franklin, and then his other character Kodak has a song with their other characters. So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here, but this is major mockery because not only are they all close and their other characters are close, but the whole theme of this video is like based in like the 80s, which is when all of these characters were big. And also some more mockery with this is the fact that this song is called Wake Up in the Sky, and all three of their base characters are dead. You know, Michael Jackson's character is dead, Aretha Franklin's character is dead, and James Brown's character is dead. So that's why that song is called Wake Up in the Sky, because usually the sky is a reference to death. So all of this is mockery, man. I hope you guys can really see the big connection with this. You know, I feel like this is the biggest connection ever, because what are the chances that all of their base characters are friends with each other and then they all have a song together? Alright, so now let's move on to the next connection, which is Muhammad Ali. So as you guys know, Muhammad Ali is Kevin Gates. I already made a video about this. The link will be in the description below. And the connection here is that James Brown and Muhammad Ali were friends. As you guys can see, they have a couple of pictures together. And the connection to Kodak is that Kevin Gates loves Kodak. When Kodak Black went to jail, Kevin Gates reached out and he said, "After all the hardship, Almighty Allah grants us ease. May your vacation be a peaceful journey, and may you return wiser, stronger, and greater than ever before. We love you, sir." So that's what Kevin Gates said when Kodak Black went to jail. Alright, so now let's move on to the next connection, which is their birthdays. So Kodak's birthday is 1 month after James Brown's birthday. So James Brown is May 3rd and Kodak Black is June 11th. So that's an interesting connection, you know, the fact that their birthdays are only a month apart. But now let's get into the gematria, because James Brown was born May 3rd, 1933. And if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you guys know that they use the number 33 so much. And in his birthday, there's 3 threes. And the reason for that is because Kodak Black's real name is Dusan Octave. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And this is how you spell it. You know, it looks like Dayu Sun. And it's kind of ironic that the word die is in there because James Brown ended up dying. But anyways, as you guys can see, Kodak Black's birth name equals 33 and 39, just like Masonry equals 33 and 39 in the same ciphers. And James Brown was born May 3rd in 1933. And as you guys can see, Kodak Black was born with the name Dusan Octave, but then he changed his name to Bill Kahan Capri. And you guys are going to see why, because his new name matches up with a lot of things in gematria. So this is a big connection right here. You know, James and Octave have the same gematria. So James equals 12 in the full reduction and Octave equals 21. So you flip the 12, you get 21. And then they both equal 33 in the reverse full reduction cipher. And James is obviously James Brown's first name, and Octave is Kodak Black's last name. So another thing that equals 33 in the same cipher is orange. So that's why a lot of celebrities love the color orange, you know, especially Kodak Black. As you guys can see, his favorite color is orange. And it's because orange is the only color that equals 33 in gematria. As you guys can see, Masonry, Dusan, which is Kodak's name, and orange all have the same gematria. And as you guys can see, Kodak loves the color orange. You know, this entire music video, was orange. And right here it says Kodak Black continues the orange trend. And then he even has a song called Bodak Orange. And the funny thing about this song is that the first song he made about this is called No Flockin'. And Cardi B actually ended up sampling that song, and that's how she got famous. And I find it ironic that Cardi B sampled Kodak because a lot of musicians love to sample James Brown. Alright, so now let's move on to the next connection, which is the fact that James Brown faked his death at age 73. And Kodak Black's new name is Bill Capri. So Bill equals 73. So isn't it kind of crazy that it connects to James Brown's age of death? And also I noticed that Kill and Bill have the same gematria. So that's probably why they made this movie, Kill Bill. And they claim that James Brown died of a heart attack on Christmas Day in 2006. It says that James Brown died of a heart attack and fluid in his lungs at age 73 in a hospital in Atlanta in the early hours of Christmas Day in 2006. And the big connection with that is heart attack and Deucent octave have the same gematria. So Kodak Black's birth name has the same gematria as heart attack, and James Brown died of a heart attack. So Kodak's name equals 198 and heart attack equals 189 in the reverse ordinal cipher. So you flip the 98 and you get 89, and then they both equal 72 in the reverse full reduction cipher. And to prove that James Brown's death was scripted, heart attack equals 72, right? And Brown also equals 72, and Brown is James Brown's last name. And it also equals 27 in that same cipher, that heart attack equals 72. Alright, so now let's talk about all of the outfits that James Brown wore, because he used to have a very interesting style. And Kodak Black also has a very interesting style in the way he dresses. You know, he dresses very similar to James Brown. And they're both crazy, man. You guys are going to see with these interviews that I play at the end that they both have the same exact mannerisms, man. So the last thing I want to talk about is this Super Gremlin video, because this entire video is very creepy. If you really understand the fact that they use music to implement things in your subconscious mind when you're listening to the song, then you'll understand this music video, because in this entire song, he's trying to get into your subconscious mind. That's what this entire video symbolizes. Me and Devon Sade will do a deeper breakdown on how music affects the subconscious mind on our Patreon, because obviously we can't play music on YouTube videos because they love to copyright us for that. But on the Patreon, we are going to break that down, because that's something very deep that a lot of people need to know. You know, you really need to be aware that all this mainstream music that you listen to has an effect on your subconscious mind, and they can actually implement thoughts into your mind and make you do certain things. So in a sense, it's like mind control. But anyways, as you guys can see, Kodak basically admitted that he's a demon in this video, because he calls himself a gremlin and it's called Super Gremlin. And he literally looks like a gremlin in this video. As you guys can see, he actually looks like a gremlin. You know, it's really creepy because this gremlin symbolizes the creature that he is. You know, and obviously it's a very demonic and evil creature that is behind this character. And I'm not sure if they're going to kill off Kodak's character anytime soon. But if they do, I wouldn't be surprised, because he has a song called Before I Go with Rod Wave. So for sure, one of those characters is going to fake their death. But either way, I still find this to be a big connection to the fact that he's James Brown, because James Brown died. And Kodak has so many death references in his music. Alright, so as you guys can see, they have the same exact side profile once again. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You know, I feel like this one is really easy to see. You know, just really pay attention to the mannerisms in these videos that I'm going to show you guys, because both of these characters are crazy and they always try to be funny in their interviews, you know, and they're very awkward as well. Be sure to drop a like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, follow me on Instagram, and subscribe to my Patreon. The link is in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm out.
It resulted, as a matter of fact, in Brown assaulting his wife with a lead pipe and firing a gun at a car that she was in. These are charges that Brown denies. He was released yesterday on $15,000 bond. He joins us from Atlanta to discuss the charges, and we welcome you, James Brown. How did all of this trouble begin?
Living in America. Something wrong?
Nothing wrong at all. You're not in any difficulty, but you're out on bond.
No, I'm not.
Have all the charges been dropped?
Yeah, I'm out on love.
Well, are you out on love or out of love? Which is it?
Out on love. Alone from night to night, you find me.
Kodak Black.
My name Kodak Black, but when you see me, I'm white.
And how come?
Kodak Black, but I'm my favorite white wife.
Why?
I bring the biggest gun to the knife fight.
Now, James, this isn't the first time you and your wife have had a problem. Are the two of you going to be able to work this out?
Let's talk about some music.
You want to talk about music, and you don't want to talk about what happened?
No, it's all over.
Well, let's talk about your tour. When are you leaving?
We're leaving tomorrow.
And where are you going?
Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Now, your fans will have read all about this, James. Aren't you concerned about that?
No, Dankeschön. I'm concerned because there's nothing wrong.
And what are you going to say to your fans when they ask you some questions about it?
I'm going to say I feel good. Papa's got a brand new bag. It's a man's world.
Well, that's the second time we've heard that in 2 days. That's very interesting. Now, don't leave us, James. You stay right there.
I'm not gonna leave.
We have to talk about. Well, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing on this tour.
What'd you say?
What are you going to be doing on this tour?
I'm going to be doing Papa's got a brand new bag, living in America. She can get up off of that thing. I feel good. Jam.
Now, I understand that you have already... James, I have to ask you one serious question here. I understand you already have started divorce proceedings. Does that mean that you're now eligible?
Yes, I'm eligible. I'm singing. I want to mingle.
You want to mingle?
Yeah.
Now, the women love you when you get out there. Why do you think that is?
Burn a lot of money and I smoke a lot of spice. My name Kodak Black, but when you see me, I'm white.
What'd you say?
The women love you when you get out there.
Why is that, ladies?
Well, I'm asking you.
Huh? Because I look good.
Why do you think that is? You look
smell good. I feel good.
And you sing good.
And make love good.
Oh. Well, there we are. We don't have to ask anybody else. We got that from the source. There you are.
Ted, where you at?
James, we want to thank you for being with us today and giving us an opportunity.
Got here.
Oh, is there something more you want to say that we haven't covered?
Yeah, I want to say a lot of things.
Okay, go ahead.
I love America. I love everybody.
Well,
I feel good.
It sounds to me as though you're not troubled by any of this at all.
This is a man's world.
Thanks for reminding us of that. Every once in a while, we forget.
Get up off of
we've
that
remembered again. James, good luck on your tour. Thanks for being with us. I guess we're going to hear lots more.
Hasta luego.
Do like this.
Unfortunately, that's a hit.
Yeah, facts.
Do you ever feel like...
My name Kodak Black, but when you see me, I'm white.
Welcome to the club.